Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Arthur. If you're over the age of 60, I need you to listen very closely for the next few minutes. What I'm about to share with you goes against decades of what we've been told. It might even sound a little shocking at first, but I need you to hear me out. For as long as any of us can remember, the message has been simple. Eat your vegetables, the more, the better. It was the golden rule of health, taught to us by our parents and passed down to our children. And it's a good rule, for the most part. But here is the common misunderstanding, the hard-won lesson it took me over 40 years as a practitioner to fully grasp. Not all vegetables are created equal, especially for a body that has seen 6, 7, or 8 decades of life. Our internal machinery, our beautiful and resilient bodies, simply operate under a different set of rules now. As we age, what was once nourishing can, under certain circumstances, become a source of silent stress on our systems. And today, I'm speaking to you not just from the pages of a medical textbook, but as a man who has sat with hundreds of patients, good people just like you, and seen the patterns. I've seen the fatigue, the joint pain, the digestive trouble that had no obvious cause, until we looked closer at the healthy foods on their plate. So please, understand, I am not here to scare you. I am not here to add another worry to your list. My purpose, the entire purpose of this channel, is to protect you, to help you navigate this chapter of life with vitality, not just endurance. So today, with the utmost seriousness and care, we are going to talk about 5 specific vegetables that I am begging you as a senior to either stop eating or to prepare in a very different way. And more importantly, for each one, I will give you a simple, delicious, and truly nourishing alternative. This is about making wiser choices, not about deprivation. This is about learning to work in harmony with the body you have today. Let's begin. Number 1, raw, mature spinach and kale. The first one on our list is a modern superstar of the health world. It's found in salads, smoothies, and green juices everywhere. Raw, mature spinach and kale. Now, I can almost hear what you're thinking. Dr. Arthur, are you serious? My own doctor told me to eat more leafy greens. And you are absolutely right to think that. The intention behind eating a large raw spinach salad or blending a handful of raw kale into your morning smoothie is a wonderful one. You are trying to give your body a powerful dose of vitamins and minerals. You believe you're fighting inflammation and building strength. And for a younger person, that might be exactly what's happening. But for our seasoned bodies, consuming large quantities of these greens in their raw state can be like inviting a well-meaning but terribly clumsy guest into your home. Here is the why. These dark, leafy greens, particularly when mature, are very high in compounds called oxalates. I want you to think of oxalates as microscopic, sharp-edged crystals. They're like tiny shards of glass. When you consume them in high amounts, 2 things can happen. First, for those of us prone to them, these oxalates can bind with calcium in our urine and form kidney stones. If you have ever experienced a kidney stone, you know it is an agony you would not wish on anyone. As we age, our kidney function can become less efficient, making us more susceptible to this kind of buildup. But even if you're not worried about kidney stones, there's another, more subtle problem. Inside your digestive tract, these oxalate crystals can be quite irritating to the gut lining. Think of your intestinal wall not as a tough pipe, but as a delicate piece of silk. These sharp little compounds can, over time, cause tiny abrasions, contributing to low-grade inflammation and discomfort. But that's not all. Oxalates are what we call anti-nutrients. They act like tiny mineral thieves. They can bind to essential minerals right in your gut, minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron, and prevent your body from absorbing them. So you might be eating a wonderfully mineral-rich meal, but a portion of those vital nutrients is being locked away and escorted right out of your body, thanks to the high oxalate content of the raw greens you ate with it. I remember a client, a lovely 72-year-old woman named Margaret. She was doing everything right. She had given up processed foods and started every single day with a large green smoothie packed with raw spinach and kale. Yet she was perpetually tired. Her iron levels were low, and she was complaining of new aches and pains. She was consuming all this health, but she wasn't absorbing it. The very thing she thought was her cure was subtly contributing to her problem. So I am not asking you to abandon these wonderful vegetables. I am asking you to stop eating them raw in large quantities. The instead is beautifully simple. Cook them. The magic happens with heat. Lightly steaming, sautéing, or wilting your spinach and kale dramatically reduces the oxalate content, often by 80 to 90%. The heat breaks down those sharp crystals, making them harmless. It also breaks down the tough cellular walls of the plant, which does two fantastic things. It makes the greens far easier for your digestive system to handle, and it makes the vitamins and minerals more available for your body to absorb. So, instead of that giant raw spinach salad, try a bed of gently wilted spinach with a little olive oil and garlic. Instead of packing raw kale into a smoothie, try adding lightly steamed kale that you've cooled down. You get all the benefits, the vitamin K, the vitamin A, the iron, without the irritating nutrient-blocking downside. It's a small change in preparation that makes a world of difference to how your body receives the nourishment. And that thoughtful preparation is a form of self-respect. It leads us directly to our next vegetable, which is a common staple on the dinner plate. Number 2, corn. The second vegetable we need to talk about is one that holds a special place in many of our memories: corn, particularly the sweet corn on the cob we enjoy at summer barbecues, or the canned corn we might add to a soup or casserole. I know. Corn feels like an all-American, classic vegetable. It's what we grew up on. It seems so natural, so wholesome. And you eat it because it's familiar, it's comforting, and you believe it counts as one of your daily vegetable servings. Your intentions are pure. You're simply trying to round out a meal. But here is where we must be discerning. In the modern world, for an aging body, corn often behaves less like a vegetable and more like a sugar. Let me explain the why. Forgive the bluntness, but much of the sweet corn available today has been bred for one primary purpose: sweetness. It's high in sugar and starch, and surprisingly low in the nutrient density you'd find in something like broccoli or bell peppers. When we eat it, especially in a significant portion, like a full ear of corn, our body doesn't register it the way it registers fibrous greens. It registers a large, fast-acting dose of sugar. This can cause a rapid spike in your blood glucose levels. I want you to imagine your body's energy system as a calm, steadily flowing river. That's what we want. Eating something like sweet corn is like dumping a bucket of sugar straight into that river. You get a sudden rush, a spike in blood sugar, followed by a significant response from your pancreas, which releases insulin to manage it. Over time, these repeated spikes and crashes can be incredibly taxing on our system. It contributes to insulin resistance, it can lead to that afternoon energy slump, and it promotes systemic inflammation. I had a patient, a gentleman named David, 68, who was pre-diabetic and struggling with his energy. He told me, "Doctor, Arthur, I don't get it. I've cut out cookies and soda, but my numbers are still high. For lunch yesterday, I had a piece of grilled chicken and a big ear of corn. That's healthy, right?" From his perspective, it was. But from his body's perspective, that ear of corn was processed almost identically to a bowl of sugary cereal. It was a Trojan horse. It looked like a vegetable on the outside, but on the inside it was delivering a payload of starch and sugar that his body simply couldn't handle efficiently anymore. So, am I saying you can never ever have a bite of corn again? Not necessarily, but I am begging you to stop thinking of it as a go-to, healthy vegetable. It should be treated as a starch, like a potato or rice, and consumed in very small quantities, if at all. The instead is to swap it for a truly non-starchy, fiber-rich vegetable. Instead of adding a scoop of corn to your chili or soup, add a scoop of diced zucchini or chopped red bell pepper. These add beautiful color and texture, but they are high in fiber and low in sugar, so they will gently nourish you without spiking your blood sugar. Instead of corn on the cob as a side dish, try roasted asparagus spears drizzled with olive oil, or a beautiful medley of steamed green beans. These alternatives provide far more vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, and they support that calm, steady river of energy we want to cultivate. You'll feel more satisfied, and your body will thank you for the gentle, genuinely useful fuel. This idea of digestive burden, of giving our body things it can easily manage, is a critical theme, and it brings us to our third category. Number 3, raw cruciferous vegetables. Let's move on to our third point, which involves an entire family of vegetables praised for their cancer-fighting properties. Raw cruciferous vegetables. This includes broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. Once again, these are nutritional powerhouses. There's no debating that. They are loaded with vitamins, fiber, and powerful compounds called glucosinolates. And I know so many of you have started adding raw broccoli and cauliflower florets to your salads, or shredding raw cabbage for coleslaw, because you've heard this is the best way to preserve their nutrients. You are making a conscious choice for disease prevention, and I applaud the intention behind it with all my heart. However, for a significant number of seniors, eating these particular vegetables in their raw state can create a cascade of digestive misery. Here's the why. These vegetables are incredibly fibrous and tough. When they're raw, they contain complex sugars and fibers that our digestive systems, which can become a little less robust with age, find very difficult to break down. Think of it this way. Imagine your digestive enzymes are a set of keys. For most foods, your body has the right key to easily unlock the nutrients. But for a raw broccoli floret, the lock is incredibly complex and stubborn. As your gut bacteria struggle to break it down, the byproduct is gas. A lot of it. This can lead to painful bloating, cramping, and embarrassing flatulence that can ruin an afternoon and make you feel uncomfortable in your own body. I worked with a woman, Carol, in her late 60s, who suffered from what she called mystery bloating. She'd eat a healthy lunch, and by 3 p.m., she felt like she had swallowed a balloon. She was frustrated and thought she might have a serious condition. We went over her food diary, and we found the culprit. Her daily health kick lunch included a side of raw broccoli florets with hummus. A perfectly healthy choice that her specific digestive system could no longer handle in that form. There's another, more subtle issue for some people as well. These vegetables, again in their raw form, contain substances called goitrogens. In very high quantities, these can interfere with iodine uptake in your thyroid gland. For someone with a perfectly healthy thyroid, this is usually not a concern. But for many of us, particularly women over 60, thyroid function can become sluggish. If you have a known or borderline thyroid condition, consistently consuming large amounts of raw cruciferous vegetables could potentially exacerbate the problem. It's a classic case of the dose makes the poison. A few florets won't hurt, but a daily habit of a large raw serving might be creating stress your body doesn't need. So, what is the answer? It's the same beautiful, simple solution we discussed for spinach. The instead is to always cook your cruciferous vegetables. Cooking transforms them. Steaming, roasting, or sautéing these vegetables does something truly magical. It's like finding the right key for that complex lock. First, it breaks down those tough-to-digest fibers, making them infinitely easier on your gut. The bloating, the gas, the discomfort, it all but disappears for most people. Second, the cooking process deactivates the vast majority of those goitrogenic compounds, making them safe for your thyroid. And third, despite what you may have heard, cooking can actually increase the bioavailability of some of their key nutrients. For example, the cancer-fighting compound sulforaphane is actually formed when the vegetable is chopped and lightly cooked. So, instead of a raw broccoli salad, try tender-stemmed broccoli. steamed until bright green and drizzled with a squeeze of lemon. Instead of a crunchy raw coleslaw that might give you gas for hours, try a warm cabbage slaw where you've sautéed the shredded cabbage in a little avocado oil until it's tender. You still get the wonderful benefits, the fiber, the vitamins, but you're serving it to your body in a form it can readily accept and use without a fight. You're being kind to your gut, and that kindness is a cornerstone of health in our later years. Number 4, certain nightshade vegetables for sensitive individuals. This next one requires a bit of nuance. It is not a blanket warning for everyone, but it is a critical piece of information that could be life-changing for some of you. I'm talking about the nightshade family of vegetables. This includes tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplant, and white potatoes. Let's be clear, for many people, these vegetables are perfectly healthy. They are rich in vitamins and antioxidants. So why are they on this list? Because for a growing subset of the senior population, these vegetables can be a trigger for inflammation and pain, particularly joint pain. The why here is rooted in compounds called alkaloids. All plants have them as a natural defense mechanism. In nightshades, one of these is solanine. For most people, this is a non-issue. But for those with a sensitivity or with pre-existing inflammatory conditions like arthritis, the body may react to these alkaloids as if they were a threat. This can trigger or worsen an inflammatory response. I want you to think of your immune system like a security guard, a very diligent but sometimes overly cautious security guard. In some of us, when these nightshade alkaloids show up, the security guard sounds the alarm, thinking there's an intruder. This alarm is inflammation. It shows up as stiffness in your knuckles, an ache in your knees, or a general feeling of bodily discomfort. You eat them because they are everywhere. Tomato sauce is the base of countless healthy dishes. Bell peppers are in every stir-fry. Eggplant is a beloved staple. You believe you are eating a rainbow of health, and you would never imagine that the very food you think is part of a heart-healthy Mediterranean diet could be connected to your morning stiffness. Let me tell you about a gentleman named George, a retired carpenter in his early 70s. His hands were his life, but they were becoming so stiff and painful with arthritis that he couldn't even enjoy his woodworking hobby anymore. He was taking medication, but with only minor relief. He told me he ate what he thought was a perfect anti-inflammatory diet, including a big salad with tomatoes and peppers every single day. On a hunch, I suggested an experiment. George, I said, for just 3 weeks, I want you to completely remove all tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, and potatoes. Let's just see what happens. He was skeptical, but he was also desperate. He came back 3 weeks later, and I will never forget the look on his face. He held up his hands and slowly flexed his fingers. "The pain isn't gone," he said, "but it's a whisper now, not a shout. It's the best it's been in years." For him, nightshades were like pouring a tiny bit of gasoline on the fire of his arthritis every single day. By removing them, we gave the fire a chance to die down. Now, I repeat, this is not true for everyone, but if you suffer from unexplained aches, pains, stiffness, or have a diagnosed inflammatory condition like rheumatoid arthritis, I am begging you to consider this. The instead here isn't a simple swap. It's a personal investigation. I recommend a 3 to 4 week elimination. Completely remove all tomatoes, bell peppers, all colors, eggplant, and white potatoes from your diet. Be vigilant. Check labels on sauces and soups. During this time, load up on other wonderful vegetables. Instead of tomato sauce, try a no-mato sauce made from beets, carrots, and onions, or an olive oil and garlic base with herbs. Instead of bell peppers in your salads, use cucumbers, radishes, or celery for that crunch. Instead of eggplant, explore the delicious world of zucchini and yellow squash. Instead of white potatoes, a topic worthy of its own discussion, switch to sweet potatoes, which are not nightshades, or mashed cauliflower. At the end of the trial period, notice how you feel. Is the stiffness less? Is the pain reduced? If so, you may have found a major key to your own well-being. This isn't about following a dogma. It's about listening to the unique wisdom of your own body. Which brings me to our final point, which is less of a danger and more of an imposter. Number 5. Iceberg lettuce. Our fifth and final vegetable to stop eating may seem almost silly compared to the others. It's not about inflammation or kidney stones or gas. It's iceberg lettuce. Yes, that pale, crunchy lettuce that forms the base of a wedge salad, or is used as a filler in so many restaurant salads. You eat it because it's there. It's inexpensive, it's familiar, and it provides a satisfying crunch. You see salad on a menu, and you think you're making a healthy choice. Your intentions are simply to get more greens. But here is the why we must reconsider it. Iceberg lettuce is, from a nutritional standpoint, the ghost of the vegetable world. It's mostly water. Think of your plate as valuable real estate. Every square inch is an opportunity to provide your body with the high-quality building materials it needs to thrive. The vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that protect your brain, strengthen your bones, and keep your immune system strong. Placing a large pile of iceberg lettuce on that valuable real estate is like building your house with cardboard instead of bricks. It takes up space, it provides some structure, but it has almost zero substance. It offers a little bit of fiber and a lot of crunch. But that's about it. The darker the green, the more nutrients it contains. Iceberg lettuce, with its pale, almost white leaves, is at the absolute bottom of the nutrient density scale. There is nothing acutely harmful about it. But the problem is one of opportunity cost. The space it takes up on your plate and in your stomach could have been used for something that genuinely nourishes and protects you. When our appetites may be smaller and every bite counts, we cannot afford to waste a single one on a nutritional lightweight. So, I am begging you to stop using iceberg as your default green. It is an imposter, wearing the costume of a healthy vegetable but offering almost nothing in return. The instead is an upgrade to nutrient-rich greens. This is the easiest swap in the world, and it's a delicious one. Instead of iceberg lettuce, build your salads on a base of romaine lettuce. It has that same wonderful crunch, but offers significantly more vitamin A, vitamin K, and folate. Even better, explore arugula with its peppery bite, which is fantastic for liver health. Or use a spring mix, which contains a variety of young tender leaves, each with its own unique nutritional profile. A handful of this is like taking a multivitamin, offering a complex range of benefits. Even simple leaf lettuce, the kind with the soft green leaves, is a major step up from the iceberg. By making this simple trade, you are dramatically increasing the nutritional power of every single salad you eat. You are trading empty space for potent protection. You are honoring your body's needs with every bite. It is a small act of profound wisdom. Conclusion: the heart-to-heart summary. If you have stayed with me this far, thank you. Thank you for your time and for your trust. I want to speak to you now, not just as a health professional, but as a fellow traveler on this road of life. The advice I've shared today, it's not about fear. It's not about creating a list of forbidden foods to make your life harder. It is about the exact opposite. It's about liberation. It's about freeing yourself from pain you didn't know the source of, freeing yourself from fatigue you thought was just part of getting older. The core philosophy of everything we do here at Senior Wellness Hub is this: aging is not a disease. It is a new chapter with a different set of rules. Our goal isn't to fight our bodies, to punish them into submission with raw, indigestible foods. Our goal is to finally, after a lifetime of pushing through, learn to work in beautiful, intelligent harmony with them. This journey is about choosing wiser, not harder. It's about listening to the subtle whispers of your body before they become shouts of pain. The 5 vegetables we discussed today are a perfect example. They are not bad, but our relationship with them must change. We must approach them with the wisdom our years have earned us, with a little heat, a little discernment, and a lot of self-compassion. What you do with this information is, of course, up to you. But I want to leave you with this powerful truth. Remember, you are not too old, and it is not too late. You are not a victim of your aging body. You are its wisest caretaker. Every gentle, informed decision you make today, starting with your very next meal, is an investment. It is an act of defiance against the notion that we are supposed to decline. It is an act that adds not just years to your life, but true, vibrant life to your years. Now, I would love to build a community of wisdom right here. I want to hear from you. Please, go to the comments below and share one thing. Which of these changes felt like a revelation to you? Or what healthy swap are you excited to try this week? Your commitment inspires others. Your story helps someone else feel less alone. Let's support each other. Thank you for being here. Be well and be wise.